This is the sound of our auctions. This is the sound of what it is that our auctions might sound like if we are to have a ballet for our auctions that are different types of assets, and we have a host that is about incredibly interesting assets that are for sale in a live performance like a fashion show. But it is an auction of roll-ups of differing types of businesses that are auctioned off, like basically like items at an auction that have to do with art and like the art world. And this is something that we might want to try to do, but in the Asian realm, in that space in the world, in that part of the world, in that area, just like the Sothebys, China is such a significant space and place to be able to do these types of events, do these types of things. It's a significant energy in that world, in that part of the world already. And so, yeah, that part of the world is already prime for that type of event. So anyway, if we can follow in those footsteps to be able to try to develop asset roll-ups, for example, with real estate attached. It's in essence like real estate shows, like we're showing real estate, but there's businesses attached, and they're all packaged as one. So they're all packaged in little nice little tightly neat packages in one, so that these auctions can be auctions of roll-ups, and they also have real estate attached, but they also can be in the auction and the art world in essence. So the businesses can be looked at as art in essence, and people can be looked at as art, and all the motions and the movements and the figments of the business music within all of the businesses are looked at as business music as well, and they can be bought and purchased as such, and such things as packages that have to do with energy that is interesting, percolating energy that has to do with and speaks to philanthropy in the world. It's packaged as philanthropy in the world. It's like little auctions, little ballet auction situations, like a music box with a ballet dancer dancing on the top. But in essence, it's an auction for auctioning off assets that have real estate attached already. So they're like neatly wrapped packages, similar to nice little art pieces that are for sale in Sothebys auctions in China, for example, and like $20 and $30 million paintings or $20 million paintings and such things that just go for auction, and they're swift and complete, and they complete the transactions. And they're interesting, and that's the interesting art world, and that's the world we're trying to figure out in the new world, in the new day and age. We're trying to decode and recode the new day and age art world by also attributing businesses as a new type of form of art. And because giving is a new type of art. The philanthropy energy giving, global giving grid. Philanthropy energy is the newest, most interesting, highest form of art. Giving is the newest, highest form of art. And that is done primarily with businesses. So the business packages that we would put together have to do with the highest impact, the greatest impact in the world that is possible, conceivable, compared with the tools that we have available to us to be able to develop those type of packages, to be able to develop roll-up packages and roll-up real estate and roll-up businesses that go with roll-up real estate. So we have different packages that have to do with and cater to, on the backside, something that can cater to an energy composition and an energy equation, in essence, that can lead to, in essence, on the backside of that equation, a grade, like a seed for the backside of that, to be able to birth new philanthropy energy because of the causes that all these businesses stand for, and how all of these causes are being served within all these businesses, and how the track record of all these businesses has served different impacts on the back end of all those businesses being able to come together and collide together to be able to develop a roll-up which has compound interest and a compound effect among all those businesses together. And hopefully it actually speaks directly to the new owner of the new business. So it's like less about the price, but it's more about the new owner of the new business roll-up, so that the whole package, the whole portfolio can be controlled by the right people. So we're kind of targeting on the front end, also on the back end, the people that it's going to be able to be sold to, in essence, because the inherent value is inherent within the paper stacking of the paper monetary energy within all of the businesses that are stacked together. So there's kind of a price that's built into the equation based on the market price, based on the analogy that is transferred into the nature of the assets and the value of the assets, and when they're all stacked together, sort of a portfolio, just a bottom line industry standard price for all of those assets, just like a market price in essence, based on the cash flow, and based on the energy within. But the way we want to package the packages, the way we want to package the packages to be able to try to speak directly to people of a philanthropic nature, and also do that within certain realms and circles similar to such as like auction realms, auction circles, and host interesting ballets on the front end, but also package the certain business packages so that we speak to certain people that are in the room in a certain way, in a certain type of demographic, and target certain people in a certain demographic type of targeting to be able to hopefully have the right people be able to land the businesses and land the portfolios and buy the business roll-ups that are put together in a certain specific type of energy, align in a certain, almost like a DNA of a seed in essence, and those seeds are then therefore able to be translated and transitioned into new people that have the ability to transition those portfolios into new, interesting philanthropic energy in the world, philanthropic energy and new impact into the world, because the way that they are seen, or possibly to be seen, to be able to guide the business is almost labeled in the forefront of the instructions of the advertisement, on the forefront before that business is sold, like a little video, in other words, in the auction that is advertising for the businesses that are being sold, and the package energy that's within that energy that is being sold in essence. And so that therefore tells a story and a narrative of where it would be ideal for those business packages to be able to be going, and where they should be sold to, and the direction they should be able to continue to be able to run in together, and how we foresee them and how we foresaw them as all fitting together in essence in the first place, and how they were put together in a roll-up in the first place, and how they could be ideally put together to have the greatest impact on the back end, ideally, in an ideal sense that story is told on the front end, that narrative is told on the front end of the impact that all those businesses can have as an additive effect, as a compound effect among all of them, as a roll-up, as a one working piece together, and they could work as separate pieces together, but also within just one big portfolio, and so they're still working together because of one ownership, but they can still work separately. But they can also, conceivably, we want to weave it together so that the story and the narrative, the business story, has the impact to potentially compound the interest, so that it most has the greatest effect to be able for them to all be able to work together and all weave together as one, and all work together as a giant roll-up that can come together as a conglomerate. And we've done that research on the front end to make it easiest to people to try to make the biggest philanthropic impact on the back end, and that's what our work is in the primary sense on the front end. That's what our specialty is, trying to be as the greatest impact in philanthropy energy possible for the back end on the front end. We do that research so we can try to hit that mark on the back end of the philanthropic energy, the most philanthropic energy to be able to connect with the philanthropic energy global giving grid, because it's all about giving. And in essence, the more philanthropic energy that's created on the back end, the more giving energy is created as well, and hopefully the better the world becomes as a result. And so our whole process is foundational around that auction mindset, around that art world mindset, around the art mindset, around a ballet on the front end, because the dance nature of it is a peculiar, tricky, interesting style of dancing. And we've got a dancing parade passing in the background right now. I hope we don't get a copyright strike because their music is too close. But anyways, so we've got that ballet mentality, and it's similar to like the K-pop world style of video making, and the K-pop world style of doing music as well. This style of doing videos in the K-pop world. The K-pop artists in the K-pop world have an interesting disposition in terms of their art collections and such things. The art collections within K-pop music videos are like collections of little items that you could sell within like an art auction, like a Sothebys auction, for example. They're very, very pretty and delicate pieces within them, and art pieces within them, and such things. And so we're trying to do the same thing, as have packages and videos in this way, and be able to do them with collaborations from different countries into different countries. I mean, all around the world, and having different on the back end of roll-ups being sold, have different collaborations across all countries, and have products from all countries be showing appearances so all countries are represented in our auctions, and real estate and businesses and business entities and business energy is all in the DNA and the fabric of the seeds that are being planted within all of our sales that are on the front and back end. Hopefully have a collective best impact, most impact possible within the marketplace, And we're also trying to do, like I want to do AI trading bots. I want to practice AI trading bots like a kid, basically like a kid, like messing with them in essence, like making fake ones, like a kid who's playing marbles in the carpet. In essence, I want to make different shapes in the carpet and be able to make different trading bots myself. I've been talking about doing it with other people, collabing with other people to be able to make trading bots and such things, similar to pools and poles, many pools and poles. There's pools and poles out there, meaning pools are pools of demand to pools of demand. So I want to make trading bots at scale, and have even programs to try to make trading bots for me based on just acknowledging and understanding the dynamic energy within the pools, and acknowledging and being able to decipher and decode demand energy that's out in the spectrum of life, in the ocean of life, into different pools, and be able to segment that into different pools, and then make trading bots based upon that, and make a program based on that on the front end to be able to develop different pools, to be able to go with the poles. The poles are the trading bots, the poles are the trading bots, the pools are the pools of demand to pools of demand on the front end, and the poles are the trading bots that we want to try to make automatically or inherently to be able to connect with those specific pools of demand, to be able to trade within them, to be able to make profit and continue to spawn our process of circularity, of circulation in a circular fashion. Oh yeah. And also ping our process back to the K-pop world of development, because it's a passion within the K-pop world, and that combined with the Bollywood film world is like a new breed of a style of a culture. We want to try to hopefully implant that combined with the Hong Kong art world, those three things basically, to be able to develop like a new culture, and also with the trading bots envisionment as well. And we're having that because our world, DINKY, TehC, and Chase for Game Studios, is centered in that world. Our little island is like within a volcano, within somewhere in the middle of the sea. So it's like we're actually our land, our little fake land. Our land is under the sea in a volcano. That is where DINKY, TehC, and Chase for Game Studios is being birthed, and hopefully we explode sometime. The volcano explodes, and then we're able to make the whole new world, hopefully in Africa. Anyways, so we want to continue to try to make these connections and these packages and do packaging in this fashion, and we're trying to also connect, like I was talking about yesterday, our new genre of music. Basically, our genre that we're finalizing is basically punk rock, EDM, and rap music combined, and then also witchcraft music as well, to be able to connect with nature. So today, in essence, the addition today is basically talking about the talking world, the speaking world. So we finalized the sound making, the type of genre of sound making, which is punk, EDM, rap, and witchcraft, and then we're combining that, in essence, today with the speaking world, the speaking industry. And so today we also are labeling the speaking industry, the genre of speaking industry that DINKY TehC is as well, because we have to try to combine the two things to be able to make the greatest additive effect for the brand name, for DINKY TehC, to be able to be identified as like the most powerful and in fact impactful person, like not person, but performer, mascot, in essence, for the brand, to be able to try to be the most powerful, most gravitas like type of energy, to be able to try to transfer that into the brand and the brand energy. And so the mascot is a DJ. The mascot has those types of music that I just mentioned, and in terms of what we're trying to continue to develop in terms of music, but in terms of a speaker, the genre is in essence like someone who's a brander, who's a marketer, who's a sound and filmmaker, who connects philosophy and spiritual finance, as well as philanthropy and philanthropy energy, and basically turns all of these items into one genre, like all those things that I just mentioned: branding, sound making, filmmaking, business, music, spiritual finance, philanthropy, energy. All of those things as part of the genre of the speaking, which is obviously labeled into the podcast as well. It's built into the label of the podcast, but that times EDM, times punk rock, times rap music, times witchcraft music is a brand new feature with all of those energies combined. In essence, all of those things compiled into a speaker by all those things being combined and compiled together. And that is what also the podcast is also trying to transition into, is in essence that speaker mentality. So it's all those code words together to be able to equal the speaker and the speaker technology and the speaker experience. For example, we were also as a strategy to be able to try to enhance the brand by also enhancing the music by doing both at the same time. So if we were ever ideally in like a super ideal sense, which is probably never going to happen, like get the chance to speak at Disney, for example, or something to that effect, or get the chance to speak at the United Nations, for example, we have both. We have all these things. We have the punk rock, the EDM, and we have the rap music, and we have the witchcraft music, and that's all built in to the music side. And then at the same time, we're combining that with the philanthropy energy side, with the spiritual finance side, with the business music side, and these are all the talking points, and also, branding, marketing, items as a genre, like sound making, filmmaking, like all these. It's a persona, but it's a unique persona in terms of games for change, change for games, or games for change for games. It's a unique persona. All those things are making an additive effect for the angle through the speaking industry to be able to try to develop the music industry side, which is also trying to build up the mascot, who is a DJ. The mascot of DINKY TehC and Change for Game Studios is a DJ named DINKY TehC, and that's the energy. That stands for the energy. So we're trying to amplify the energy and get in front of the sound world, actually get in front of the sound world by going the speaking route. We're going the speaking route to try to get in front of the sound world, in essence, by when we continue to make sound, we're not trying to go through the traditional means of necessarily the music route. Necessarily, we're trying to go the speaking route. That's what this podcast is all about. We're going the speaking avenue, hopefully do speaking roles and speaking items at places where other people speak as well. So we have the speaking impact, in essence, but we combine it with a story and a narrative similar to ballet. So if we do speaking engagements, we do similar to ballet on the stage. We have ballet happening all the time. It's a ballet performance, it's a ballet concept, and we're selling roll-ups at the same time, and it goes down the line, up and down the line, so our energy is fluid, up and down the line of what DINKY TehC and Change for Game Studios is as a brand. So we have fluid energy all the way up and down the lines. Yeah. And also, it's also mentioned that because we've been sort of withdrawing from society for a long time, and by society I mean normal facets of doing things, because we've been brand building for a long time, getting lost in the forest, trying to connect with trees, trying to connect with nature, trying to connect with different energies from around the world, trying to connect with various energies, trying to connect with all kinds of energies, getting lost in the universe, getting lost in the sauce, getting lost in the sky, getting lost with trees, getting lost in the depths of nature, getting lost with all these things. So these are all connections. These are all connections. These are things that are called connections because these are synapses that are connecting. These are pipelines that are connecting. These types of things like ballet, connecting to the art world, connecting to Bollywood, connecting to K-pop, connecting to Hong Kong, connecting to all these items. These are different trees that are coming together, and they're leaking water from different avenues from different vines, and we're growing a different plant in the middle from all of these plants and all these roots and all these vines coming together, in essence, and connecting in the center places and spaces. And as a result, these are all connections. These are synapses happening in nature. This is learning as opposed to earning, in essence, and those are connections. Those are connections happening in the brain, in the mentality, in the pipelines of thought, of direction, of energy, percolating, of energy, circulating, of energy, triangulating, of energy, directing, of energy, garnering, of energy, pipelining, of energy, building, of energy, directing, of energy, flowing, of energy, wave making, of energy, pushing and pulling, and corralling energy, corralling energy by putting it into a similar place and reconfiguring it and reshaping it. And that's what this podcast is helping to do as well. This podcast has been helping to do that reconfiguration aspect. And then finally, at the last part, one of the last parts, in an ironic, peculiar, interesting sense, I guess you could say, is the connections to people. Connections, those are called connections in terms of networking connections. Networking connections are trying to be added last. The connections to pipelines of different folks and different strokes and such things and different networks and such things are trying to be added last, like actual root connections connections to people and the flow in that side of the world. In that side of the world, we're hoping to be able to make the connections, the root connections. That's where the Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios brand was named and labeled in Asia. In essence, it was registered there. So basically, if it is able to be possible somehow to be able to connect more and have more connections on that side of the world, we'll see how it goes. We'll let you know. But that's sort of been the intention in terms of demographic to sort of focus on, I guess you could say, is to try to, but adding the root connections, if you will, in the last place. And that's sort of what we're going for, to try to furnish the outside energy to be able to push in an outside external sense, starting from an internal sense, and then pushing outward, spreading outward into consumers, pushing from an internal to an outward to consumer sense. So it's like developing a team almost organically and innately at the same time as networking, because those network roots are root networks that are furnishing the inside of the circle, and those are connected to a lot of customers because they're connected to a lot of B2B audiences that are built-in audiences, business. So let's go from here. Those root networks are the last things that we're trying to add to actually furnish out. It's like the seed. This is all, and then the root networks are all the places which the water can travel, in essence, to and from the seed. We are the seed. I am the seed. You are the seed too. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're in the podcast, this podcast being made is the seed. It's all the connections, the root connections of the DNA of the seed, in essence, coming together from the synapses of the different pipelines of the conceptual corresponding chlorophyll from the plant within this plant, this plant that's growing together from vines and elements from the different elements from the podcast coming together from the first or seventh podcast, I suppose you could say, where we've been more consistent, and then it's all just these items being put together, patched together, and then adding root networks at the end, trying to add our root networks, trying to add, in other words, networks of people, pipelines of people that are in the Far East, trying to stack in that region our ability to be able to sustain somehow some roots, to be able to try to continue and consistently try to grow, and then have residual effect in the country that I'm from, actually, like from, as opposed to foundational in that area, in that vicinity. We're trying to have byproduct by in the background connection, in essence, from the countries that I'm from, to be able to connect there in the back, in the last place, in essence, not the first place, in essence. So anyways, that's about it for now. Other than that, it's just about trying to connect the news to the blog on a day-to-day basis, so there's more blog energy on a day-to-day basis, and it's more continuous in terms of just updating pipelines of thought, pipelines of focus, and such things that are more continuous, more fluid, and more like notes, also to try to stay on track from the day-to-day to day-to-day. Also pictures, depictions, and projections and such things on the blog to be able to also help to try to pipeline wireframes of how to allocate time, capital, energy, thoughts, plates, and attention, and such things. So anyways, that's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech. Bye. Peace. Bye.